Hi, my name is Claire. Welcome back to my channel. For this week's video, I'm going to be doing a home with a barn on bottom and a house on top in The Sims 4. So this is built in the world that came with the Horse Ranch expansion pack, and it has space for 4 horses and 3 humans and a cat. So this is a very interesting build. I don't know how many homes like this exist in real life, but that's kind of the fun part about building in The Sims is that you can work anything into the game that you want, and it doesn't really have to be realistic or not. I do try to do mostly realistic homes, but for this home I wasn't really sure if this is like realistic or not. I have like a 0% knowledge of horses. I did try to be a horse girl when I was younger, but then I got on a horse and realized I was allergic. So if you're new to my channel, you probably haven't heard the story. If you've seen another one of my horse ranch builds, you probably have heard that story. It's like my one story about horses. So we're just going to be making the front yard into a little bit of like a jumping and agility course, and then in the back there are 4 horse stables with a tack room in the middle, and we're just going to be making sure each stall has food and water. I did adjust this food and water station a little bit. I did playtest this home, and the horse could get in the barn, but it could not get out of the barn. So I did do a little bit of adjusting, so you'll see that during the screenshots towards the end of the video. So everything does in here get slightly adjusted, but everything is like still the same items. It's just a little bit tilted almost. So we're just going to be adding some of these like metal decals. I feel like it would be kind of fun to like think about like each of these like metal decals is like something to represent the horse that's inside of the stable. So we're just now going to be working on the tack room, and this space has a lot of storage items, and I don't know if they're technically playable storage items. I kind of forgotten if they're playable storage items, but this area is perfect for if you have a ranch hand on your property that you can put a bed in the space, and then they can be like separate from the family up above. But this space just has a lot of storage. I put down some saddles for each of the horses, and I feel like this is just kind of a fun space. There's a door on both sides to get to the other side of the property easily without like having to go through the whole entire course, which maybe it's like not quick if you're the horse, but it is quick if you are the sim. So we're just going to be filling up this space. I didn't want this area to feel empty, and so I mostly have that as storage, but now we are on the second floor, which is technically the first floor of the home. So we're just going to be adding some seating. I do switch this side for a bench because I put more rocking chairs you can see now on the right side of, the left side of the home has the rocking chairs, and the right side of the home has a bench. So we're just going to be adding a entryway rug, and I do keep this blue theme throughout like the main living portion of the home to match the doors from the exterior. And we're just going to be finding a couch and some chairs, and I really want to point out these archways. These are from the Cats and Dogs pack, and I love myself a good archway. I don't know really what it is about archways. It's just like simple and clean and classic, and I wish some arch doorways would come to the base game, especially like arch doorways that are maybe like on the shorter wall height. And I know we do have like arch doorways, but they seem more decorate, and these ones that come with the Cats and Dogs pack seem more simple. I want more simple archways, or maybe some like Spanish designed archways. So we're just going to be making a little drop zone. If you're new to my channel, I love having a little table and a little like stool by the entryway to like have like your Sims to like drop their keys, or possibly in this home drop their cowboy hat. So if you're new to my channel and are wondering why exactly there's a drop zone area, it's just something I like to do in all of my houses. So now we're just going to be making a little play area for a child. This home was slightly designed around my friend's Sim family. This friend has 5 horses and 3 Sims, and one of them's a child. And so I kind of built this home based around my friend's Sim family, but I also wanted this home to be symmetrical, and so that's why there's not a 5th horse stable in this lot, because I wanted to be symmetrical. I really like symmetrical things, or like slightly symmetrical things, and since this is a ranch home, I felt like this would be like just the best thing to be like very symmetrical for this home. So now we're going to be working on the office area. This is like right off of the kitchen area, and we're just going to be adding a desk. And I did change the desk to be from the cats and dogs pack. This desk is from the Horse Ranch pack, and I liked it because it like gave a little bit height on the back, but I also want to make sure I used a good amount of items from the Cats and Dogs pack as well as the Horse Ranch pack. I am trying to be pack cautious this year with my Sims 4 building, so if you have any pack build restrictions or suggestions, make sure to let me know down in the comments. And while you're down there, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. It really does mean so much to me for those who have hit the subscribe button to just see my little channel here on YouTube grow. I do only Sims 4 videos, and I post one video per week. So if you are interested, make sure to hit those buttons so you can be notified. And now we are in the kitchen of the home. This is a very large space, and so that's kind of why I had the office kind of like coming into this space, is to kind of like make it not so boxy, to kind of like help separate the kitchen area from the dining area. And it still ends up being a very large kitchen, but maybe the family hosts a lot of horse related events at the property, and so they kind of need all of this preparation space for like catering and events like that. So we're just going to be adding some bar stools, and I do have like an actual dining area in a little nook that you can't see quite yet, but you'll see that in a moment. So we're just going to be adding a 5-seater island, and we're going to be adding some uppers now. I did want to make them blue, but I also kind of liked how the uppers were matching the countertops. And so we're just going to be adding a few decorations onto the walls. When I was doing the screenshots, I realized how high that apron was, and I it's high. I'll fix that before I post this on the gallery, which if you want to play in this home, you can check out the description of this video. All of the information for this home will be down in the description. So we are just going to be adding a rug and going to be adding another rug by the dining room area, and going to be adding some artwork onto the walls. Again, the artwork and the aprons are very high because this level, the second level, is medium wall height, and so I was just kind of like, oh, that looks good, like thinking it's like short wall height, but I'm the one that made it medium wall height, so I'm the one to blame for that. So we're just going to be adding a few different like clutter kitchen items in this area. Do you want to make this home feel like it is you lived in, that like this is a busy family that spends most of their time working with their horses, and so we're just going to be adding a pot onto the stove. I'm pretty sure the stove, no, the stove is functional. I saw my sim use it. So this stove is functional even though there is a pot on it, and we're just going to be heading outside again real quickly. I do have a little side porch with a grill and some planter boxes, and I did want to add a fire pit out here, and so I do make the horse run area on the left hand side a little bit shorter just to kind of fit everything I wanted into this space. And so I really wish we could have a fire pit like that in the base game. I feel like I would use fire pits that are kind of like more of like a cozy campfire and not so much like a bonfire more if it was more like a cozy campfire. So we're just going to be adding a picnic table to the deck and going to be finishing up this kitchen space and going to be heading over to the left side of the home where the bedrooms are. So we're just going to quickly make sure I didn't forget anything, and I realized with shrinking back the fence it did make a pretty good opportunity to like make a hidden garbage can spot. So we're just going to be heading now to the bedrooms of the home. And again, this is a home designed for 3 human sims and 4 horses and a cat. So we're starting off with the hallway space into the bedrooms and going to be adding some artwork from the Cats and Dogs expansion pack and going to be adding that shorter desk like I mentioned earlier. So we're just going to be finishing up this office space, and then we're going to be heading back into the hallway that leads into the bedrooms. And I do have an arch going into the bedrooms area, but just to kind of like give it a little bit more separation, and because I love arches, and so I thought that was just kind of like a smart feature, just kind of give it a little bit more privacy to the bedroom area. So we're just going to be adding some cat tree areas and some more artwork from the Cats and Dogs pack. This area I would deem as the cat area because of the cat trees. I also do add a like wand that the cat can play with, and so I feel like this area is like the cat area. And then we're just going to be moving on into the first bathroom. This is a 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom home. I realized I probably should have mentioned that within the first minute of the video, but hey, better late than never. So we are going to be using the toilet and sink from Cats and Dogs, and then the shower is actually from the base game, but I do come back at the end of the video to replace it with just a regular shower and not a shower tub combo that you can see that I am currently working with. And so we're just going to be adding a towel, and I feel like this wall where there's like nothing on it was like my biggest challenge, is like what do I put on this wall. This bathroom is mostly designed for just one sim, and so it's like I don't need to have like a whole wall of towels. But now we're in the kids room. I was trying to make this area very neutral, just kind of like a space where you can put your own Sims personality into the space. So I was just kind of making it fun and outdoorsy. That was like my goal with this bedroom. And I know you can obviously add your own flares, but I did want to have a desk for them to do their homework in, but I know that Sims don't always do their homework where you think they would do their homework, so the Sim child or teenager will possibly end up doing their homework in one of the horse stables. So I'm just going to be adding a few decorations, gonna be adding the giant teddy bear, and going to be trying to find some items to place on the walls. I did want to have like a tall dresser, but I also want to have the short dresser for just like other storage, possibly like imagining toys would go in the shorter storage by the bed. And now we're just going to be adding some of these cloud decals because I wanted to have a cloud shelf for the bed, because even though it is a bunk bed, I feel like it's like still handy to like have the like shelf acting as a side table. So we're just going to be adding a little stack of books and going to be now working on the art or the posters for the room. I was trying to like keep this area very like neutral, and so I didn't have like too much of like personality in this room, so you can decide how you want that Sims room to look like. But now we are in the primary suite, and we're going to be using this bed from Horse Ranch and going to be adding side tables from the Cats and Dogs pack. A very simple bedroom. I wanted to keep the walls as kind of creamy tan colors to kind of keep it more simple, and I feel like it went well with like the wood throughout the home to have it that same like tone. So we're just going to be adding some rugs to make it just feel a little bit more fun and cozy. And throughout this build, I was thinking about this cartoon that I watched when I was younger called Horseland. And while I was editing this video and while I was taking screenshots for this video, I was watching Horseland. So I'm sorry if some of this video seemed a little bit choppy in some spaces. I got a little sucked in to watching media from my childhood, and I just like had to just like stop editing for a little bit to like just like finish a 20-minute episode. So we're just going to be adding a dresser and going to be doing a little bit of rearrangement in this room. This area was surprisingly hard to do because I wanted to keep the artwork like this like western style, but I also wanted to have like a lot more natural light, but I also wanted the windows to like line up with the roof, and that's a little bit hard because of the porch that like goes from the all the way to the left side to all the way to the right side. So I'm just going to be adding a mirror, and I do bring back the windows in the primary bedroom to bring in some more natural light. But now we are in the primary bathroom, and this is kind of a carbon copy of the first bathroom. Since they're right next to each other, I feel like it made sense to have them look the same. They're all also like right next to each other, so maybe it would have been more convenient to have one of the bathrooms on the opposite side of the home, but I feel like this made more sense to just have them next to each other. If this was a real home, plumbing would have to be accounted for, and so it just made sense to have them next to each other. So we're just going to be adding just the regular shower from the Horse Ranch pack and going to be adding a litter box. That's like the main reason why I decided to make this into a shower instead of the combo. And the litter box I'm using is one of the fancy ones that like can clean it for your Sims, and so I thought that would be a nice feature for your Sims because they're probably taking a little bit of time with the horses than with the cat, but there's still plenty of things for your Sims to do with the cat. So we are now getting close to the screenshots of the video, so I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, make sure to leave a like and a comment, subscribe if you haven't. I post new videos every single Tuesday, and if you have any build suggestions for me, make sure to leave them down in the comments. If you want to play in this home, you can find the information down in the description. I hope to see you all next week. Bye!